So Workgroup 7 was about planning of the future, and so these were the tasks, deliverables, and milestones. So the first milestone was recognizing appropriate H2020 goals. And both Blanca and I have been keeping an eye on that and informing you by regular email circulations. So I hope these were useful. Then also, applying for funding. I will show in a few seconds that there were various consortia within hCOMET that did team up and applied for funding. And then the last deliverable that we're still kind of working on is a strategy, and a topic is identified for this prospective study that we had to develop a plan for. And now it's the thing like looking into appropriate funding, but I will come back to this plan for a prospective study later on. Oh, so then we had a few, this is a list at least of the fundings that we know of that were sent to either me, Andrew, or Christiana. So there were unfortunately a series of attempts that were not successful. I'm sure that these people will try again as well. I just know that the people for the last one for the World Cancer Research Fund, which will focus on the EPIC study, they're going to retry next year when we have the pilot data, and Ilul will tell us more about these pilot data in a minute. Then there were a few attempts to go for in European networks. There were two consortia. The first consortia tried 3 times so far, no luck. The second consortium tried 2 times already. So now we were discussing to either team up or we could reuse this topic for, this bar is in the way, for maybe going for a next cost action. Also in Antalya, we had a brainstorm about topics that could be suitable for a next cost action, and to go broader than just COMET, of course. So, I mean, there can be multiple applications, of course. I'm not saying that the other topics that I circulated the notes for cannot be applied for, but at least Amaya, myself, also Bojana, others are thinking about going in the direction of the title here, so traditional and novel approaches. The deadline is November 13. We're not going to make that. First of all, it's too soon. And also we considered that we're still looking for a grant holder, although Mirta told me yesterday that Croatia could be a grant holder, but also we're looking for a proper lead. And Goran came with a good point. We can still not travel, so it might make sense to wait until next year and also take more time to prepare a good, sound proposal. But this will also involve people outside COMET that were already involved in these ETN applications. And of course, if people listening now feel attracted to this topic, so the traditional and novel approaches of genotoxicity testing, feel free to contact us. So we will keep in touch with the people interested in this, and then hopefully next year, if the deadlines stay the same, it might be March, the next deadline, but since there's a new Horizon Europe, we don't know if deadlines are going to change. Then some ongoing ones and applied, well, some that are applied for just recently. So the first one is a joint application or a bilateral collaboration between Slovenia and Croatia, mainly involving Bojana, Matias, also Metka, Filip, and Goran Kajski. Then we have some other applications, mainly also from the same groups. So again, Slovenia and Croatia, and then Slovenia and Bosnia are also applying for a collaboration. Okay. So yeah, the plan for the prospective study, I said we try to apply for funding and pilot tests are ongoing. So that's to focus on that. We're already at the end of the 4th year, so the whole corona also delayed everything. So as I said, we're still working on it and it's ongoing work. For those that missed previous meetings, just a summary. So we have been in touch over the last year and a half, I think. Roger to initiate, and Helga took over the correspondence with Tilman Kuhn from Germany, because they have a nice set of EPIC samples, mainly the Buffy codes we were interested in, which were stored in straws, snap frozen, and these were the samples that Helga and Ilul then made the first experiments with. And Ilul kind of mentioned also that there will be samples from different BMIs. So also they have this Helena trial that we can, when we prove that it works, we can potentially ask them to collaborate on this as well, which is focused on obesity and caloric restriction. So then, apart from these tests, in terms of retrospective studies, we've also been thinking about setting up our own prospective study and making plans for that. But then, of course, we had to identify which studies are out there, what are people doing, are they already collecting samples, how do we advise people to freeze them, and so on. And then the most important thing, which funding to go for. And then, we did look into this. I will show you the data. We sent out a questionnaire. A small set of people replied, but I think we can do things with it. We also know who can collect them. We're still in progress with setting up a protocol. Amaya also mentioned it. So it's together with Workgroup 4 and 6 that we will do this. And then, of course, we're still looking for opportunities. I'll come back to that. So the questionnaire revealed that most people are actually working on this topic, the ones that have cohorts available and that could participate in a prospective study. So it seems that it's going to be more around, diabetic, hypertension, obesity, so more into metabolic diseases. Then we also asked if some people could start collecting on their own resources, and half of the groups said yes. They also give me some sample size. For now, it looks that we would have around 300 healthy subjects and 550 patients. We got several ages, mainly 40 plus. It was quite a wide age range, but the majority were 40 plus. Most of them are either already collecting, will do, I guess with the corona, there were a lot of delays, so they will do in the next year. And there were 10 to 12 partners across Europe, 9 countries, and then also Brazil outside Europe replied. So what about the protocol? Several people came and asked me like, but how do we store them then? How do we freeze? Do we freeze them as whole blood, as Buffy code, as PBMC? So also the data from Ilul with EPIC samples helped there a lot. So together, based on these data and also based with other experiences within Workgroup 6 and together with Workgroup 4, we will then come up with some kind of guidelines again to advise people how to store them, so that we try to have a unified way of storing them, and then as soon as we can apply for funding, there is some common basis to start from. This is just an example. It might look a bit much, but just this is something I made in the past, and then I added some things for today. Just we could prepare something like this, that you say, okay, snap freeze little aliquots of blood, or snap freeze Buffy code. Plasma could be used for other markers, and then if you want to go for repair, you have to isolate white blood cells or PBMCs. So we could come up with a scheme like this to advise people and to store it in a common, uniform way. So I already mentioned it. So we just started teaming up people, and then we're going to start this work. I see this is actually an old slide. I'm sorry, because yeah, actually Christian Delbo is also helping Peter with the literature part. So there will be an introduction part, which is based on literature review, also explaining some gaps. And then as Ilul and Lisa will take the lead on the protocol, so based on their experience with freezing of aliquots of whole blood or buffy coats. And then there's some other contributors that will add based on their experience with either whole blood, buffy coats, or blood cells. So we're hoping to start that soon and have a draft at least before Christmas. Then, yeah, I'm not going to go over everything because I realize it's taking a bit longer, but Blanca helped to prepare some slides on Horizon Europe, so you all know that we're moving into a new 7-year program. So we put some slides in here, but we can circulate these again later on. So yeah, just to say that we are looking into funding also for the prospective study. Yeah, as you all know, there's more and more focus on the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm just going to go briefly over these. There's about $100 billion that Horizon Europe is providing again for funding. There's the 3 pillars within Horizon Europe. Again, we will share these slides so you can have a closer look. The major programs are still there as we know them. They're just put maybe slightly in different pillars. Also, like we said, cost action will still be there, also twinning and teaming. So we just have to wait and see what the deadlines will be for next year. And then, yeah, we also put in something about UK because I know some UK-based researchers are worried about. So it seems they can still join, but depending on, which action or which proposal they join, there might be different rules. So again, I'm not going to go in details now. I'll distribute them afterwards. And another suggestion, after talking with several people, we realized that, and I'm guilty to that as well. I mean, we had a nice brainstorm in Antalya, and then the whole corona came, and we did nothing with the ideas we had for the next cost action. As an example, I'm sure there were other initiatives that weren't followed up. So we thought that maybe even though hCOMET is finished, it would be good to have still online brainstorm sessions, hopefully someday again face-to-face. We could do every month. I just put the first Friday of the month because today is the first Friday of the month. We could do it every 2 months. I mean, I'm happy to know what your opinions are. I just put a Google form up. We will share these slides later, so you could, put your name there, say if you're willing to take part, because, if we don't brainstorm about these ideas, they will die, and then we will never end up with a prospective study to start off with, but also other initiatives. So, afterwards, let me know if you guys think this is a good idea. And then just briefly to finish up, so like Andrew's hCOMET website will still keep existing, but also in the meantime, we put up another website with the help of Sonja Volenkova. She helped me a lot with this because, as we know, eCOW, the workshop that we organize every 2 years, we figured it might be good to make a group out of it. And also we recently became an interest group under the EMGS, the European Environmental Mutagen and Genome Society. So that's good to have this visibility. And actually, if, this is again the YouTube site where we also put all the films. All the films will also appear on hCOMET website, so they are linked to this YouTube channel. And Andrew, I hope you noticed that we swapped the DNA molecules.
So, yeah, I did notice actually.
So yeah. And then, because we are now an interest group under EMGS, this means that we have to think about a committee. For now, it's Bertrand, Maya, myself, and Sonia who's been holding this up. We apologize for not being active anymore in blogs and etc. But we need people to support this. So everyone that feels like they are up to this job, that want to nominate themselves or want to nominate colleagues, do please mail us, and then we have voting among hCOMET members. So we're looking for up to 6 members to do this. So yeah, you don't have to be an EMGS member yet, but we will advise you to become so, because we're an interest group of EMGS that will be something you will have to become if you would be a committee member. And then just to finally round up, I got some questions already in the coffee break. Yes, we are still planning the next hCOMET together with Roger. We're planning it in Maastricht, as you might have known. So also the website is there. You can link through the other website as well. This is a program. It looks like for now, you see that it has become quite dense with an hCOMET session in there. So we decided, instead of the open conference that we were supposed to hold in Budapest and then in Croatia, now hopefully we can hold it as part of hCOMET. Also, EMGS is teaming up with us because they have an international meeting. So they will have a young scientist session as well as their general assembly there. The hands-on training, I mean, it's there. We hope we can hold it. It's all going to depend on how the COVID situation will evolve, but do keep an eye on the website and we'll keep you up to date as much as possible. And that's it. So if there's more questions, don't hesitate to me or Blanca. Blanca has been a very big support for me in finding all the funding. So thanks to her as well. So if there's any questions at this point.
I'm so pleased to see that the UK hasn't been totally kicked out. I liked your comment about, well, it might be in a different format or something, but it's very, I mean, it doesn't matter to Andrew because he's Norwegian if he wants to be. But it matters for people like me. I don't have a dual nationality. But I think it's such an interesting group and does such good things. So it's nice to know. I thought, I'm going to say, I've been having funding from the EU for the last 35 years. And so I thought this is the very last day today for me, but there's hope in what you just said. You'll see. Anyway, thanks for that comprehensive overview.
You're welcome.
We can move on to the final remarks, I think. hCOMET is over now. At least we'll be in a few days' time, but we will stay in touch, I'm sure. There are plenty of loose ends to be tied up. I want you all to keep checking the website, which will survive, and it'll give them information on protocols, videos, news of events, and publications, and so on. So with that, I think I just have to say goodbye and thank you all for attending. It's almost as if we're all together.